closer. Okay. Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Engineering the Markets. My name is Jared, and it is December 4th. No, it is January 4th, 2022. Apologies, early morning start, running a little behind schedule on my end, but overall we are ready to go. And welcome to our second day in 2022. So, market yesterday was a bit overall preparatory for the year to come. A lot of people like to watch what performs and what is being positioned for inside of a new calendar year as both an early leading signal for maybe some performance to come, along with preparing for any changes in either the economic cycle or some of the more macroeconomic drivers that move different markets. And when we look at the S&P, we note that overall the technicals here remain very bullish from a pure where we've come from, where we are, and where we're looking to go. We have our classic bull flag pattern. And depending on how you draw these retracement lines, we are starting to inch our way slowly outside of what is typically the flag-based pattern. Albeit we haven't necessarily made new swing highs, market is trying to inch above this sort of consolidative area. Of course, this drawing is not perfect, but the concept is the same. So not too much to discuss on the SPY front, but we could start to look at what sectors helped the market get out of this consolidation and started to boost the performance in the first trading session of 2021. Now, depending on how you view this, you can look at things like sector-based ETFs, which is one of my preferred methods. Gives you a very clear overview of what sectors performed as a group. And then, of course, if you see outperformance or underperformance, sometimes it can be isolated to specific industries inside of those sectors. Here I have a heat map of what are typically the majority of the sector-based ETFs. This particular watch list has a couple of sort of odds and ends, but they're not going to be super effective for the market cap performance of the SPY. As always, tech is our main sector in focus. We want to note that the SPY is comprised approximately of 30% of tech-based stocks. So any underperformance or overperformance in tech can sort of mask the opposite in other sectors, along with boost performance if you have a more correlated move in either direction. Also worth noting, consumer discretionaries. A lot of people, of course, focused on Tesla yesterday, and we'll look at that chart briefly, but very strong breakout gap or breakaway type gap. Bull flag confirmed, obviously the setup coming from last year, and then that outperformance all the way into the 1200 print, which was an option-based market dynamic. The idea of pinning a particular price due to the fact that the inventory at 1200 was so high. And then, of course, our XLF, which actually did outperform the overall market yesterday, albeit it wasn't necessarily a full sector outperformance. Bit of a mixed bag here, but a lot of the performance came from banks. And we'll look at a couple of those names and some of the drivers that might be causing this particular move in the first trading session. When you start to scan more from left to right, you'll notice that a lot of smaller sectors, specifically one that has been in focus, have started to pull back or starting to pull down even further. A lot of our defensive sectors yesterday were starting to give back some of their upside potential. And then our healthcare sector, which saw some of the worst performance intraday, along with industrials. This sort of led to not necessarily choppy price action, but we started to lose what was before a market leader. And that pullback is notable given both the size and some of the stocks that were driving the move to the upside. So let's quickly take a look at some other markets and talk about what changed yesterday to cause this sort of rough sector rotation. We're going to look at things more from an intraday perspective, but also the idea that if this continues, this may be more than just a one-day event. So first and foremost, let's go to what often can drive market performance, and that is interest rates. Here I have the 10-year Treasury Index, noted by the TNX ticker symbol. And as you can see, yesterday's session was a very notable candle. Now, this is not a volume item, it's an index overall, so it's simply tracking the performance of the 10-year Treasury yield. And as you can see, the market closed with this particular yield at about 1.65%. Now, obviously, we've seen volatility in the bond market. We've seen moments in time where the market is relatively stable, and then we get periods of either outperformance and even short-term underperformance in regards to trading ranges, which I have a rough approximation of our high and low where this market has been consolidative or balanced. Now, on yesterday's session, there was a massive or a fairly large uptick in the 10-year interest rate, obviously facilitated by the 10-year bonds or notes going to the downside. Here I just have the futures product /ZN. And then as a lot of us are aware, we have a more appropriate trading vehicle in the form of the TLT, which isn't necessarily reflective of just the 10-year, but it is sort of an aggregate product showcasing bond performance. Now, normally we can see large expansion type candles, but if you're still within your trading range, or if you haven't lost anything of significance in regards to a trend line or even just lower volume sort of movement, you often can say, well, this may have a downside target, an upside target. Is it really engulfing or recapturing any previous prices? And from that point forward, you can make an assessment as to whether or not this is an actionable event. But on yesterday's session, I want to bring the technical structure into focus, as it may be indicative of more downside to come. So for our TLT product, if we sort of zoom in, we'll note that there was significant range highs and range lows that formed back in September and August, basically earlier inside of 2021. These, of course, had some movement throughout. There was a lower high that printed on this product that became more of a responsive area, an inflection point inside of the range. And then you also have what is typically known as a false breakout, usually followed by some sort of reversal structure, whether it be engulfing, a lack of follow through, and ultimately the confirmation that this was false breakout is the idea that the market moves from the range high to the range low, essentially completing what is known as a range transition in a technical sense. Now, amidst all this volatility, there's value, there's sort of your VPOC that forms in the range. All of that is important for shorter term trades, but you also start to get things like trend lines. And this tends to capture notable inflections when your range horizontal levels are not appropriate. Oftentimes you'll see prices respond either horizontally or in sort of a rising market. You want to be thinking trending type markets, or even just more volatile range expansion. You'll get things like channels, trend lines, expanding patterns. Maybe that sort of, some people call it the trumpet, or sort of the widening wedge. In this case, however, we do have a possible move through multiple areas of interest. More notable than that is the volume that's coming in. So on yesterday's session, you can think of 3 events occurring. We lost our range low. We closed below our range low. We've done this before. So we can start to look at performance of the market during these time frames when interest rates is obviously spiking to relative highs. We also lost our trend line support. This has been a notable inflection area for major lows. And so far, what looked to be a possible engulfing structure at the end of the year has broken down, more notably on volume. Last but not least, you can also think about, well, what lows are we starting to test? And usually with a trend line low break, you're often thinking about sort of the lowest print that forms the trend line as a possible target, along with what are you moving away from? And in this case, sort of the third item is the idea that after this false breakout, we are getting outside of our range in a very aggressive fashion. So when you combine all these things together and you say the market is advertising that interest rates may start to rise from this point forward, and when you start to look at what the market does during those time frames, specifically, let's look at a time frame between November 9th and November 24th. What markets tend to be affected by rising interest rates? Well, as we go into our SPY, we'll see that November 9th was a bit of a relative high. Coming into November 24th, where the market put up a second test of this high, and then our drawdown inside of the S&Ps. If we look at the NASDAQ, that November 9th time frame, once again, a bit of a relative high into the 24th. This is our spike high for the NASDAQ. And as interest rates were coming back down, market also sold off particularly high growth multiple names. You want to be thinking either tech, some consumer discretionary, and any company valuations that are elevated in a low interest rate environment. How did small caps perform? Well, if you look at November 9th, you'll see that November 9th marked the top of the IWM. And as we started to fall back into our trading range, more notably the 24th being the last session before a significant gap down, something that the market has yet to repair, very clear sort of resistance point inside of this gap structure. These are areas of interest for the market. Now, ultimately, what is being advertised here is not yet an actionable event for the market. We're not seeing any sort of initial response by the S&Ps, by tech, by growth, whatever you want to call it. But it may be a bit of a leading indicator. And as we've seen before in a rising interest rate environment, especially one that rises faster than the market can anticipate. I'll now draw your attention to September 23rd. Let's just go out into the beginning of October. Once again, just looking at the performance of the market. September 23rd, this is our initial bounce off of what most people would claim was the Evergrande crisis gap down. Market underperformed during this time. We saw downside pressure in the Qs. That's obviously going to be true for the SPY as well. So market drew down into the beginning of October. And then last but not least, our small caps, that September 23rd period, a little bit less notable here, but overall a bit of a pullback. So when looking at the dynamics and the correlation between interest rates rising, the market's response, and how leading of an indicator is this, we may want to pay attention over the next couple of sessions as to what occurs from this moment forward. It's sort of our first signal that something may be changing. And when we look at things like technical trades, where is the market targeting and how much downside can we anticipate, albeit it's not going to necessarily come in one fell swoop. We could start to think of things like, well, this swing low might want to be tested. We've lost our trend line, so that is not an unreasonable target for TLT. And what does that do for interest rates if bond products are starting to sell off and test these significant lows? You might also want to look back in time and say, well, where did the market break out from? Obviously, the market has had sort of a counter trend reaction in recent history. We're talking about interest rates coming down from a specific sort of technical based structure and a counter trend reaction. But in the grand scheme of things, are we still overall in a downtrend? Did we simply see a fake breakout, something that takes months, weeks to months to form? And is this a sign that we are back inside of our normal structure with multiple weeks of downside yet to come? What this can do is help us prepare as traders and even as investors to start to think a little different. We could focus on different sectors of the market. If growth becomes a bit of a has a bit of a headwind with interest rates rising, this is the normal correlation that the market takes, maybe the market starts to focus more on value. Maybe the market goes purely defensive. We've seen this before. We know that XLP, our consumer defensive names, are outperforming overall. They're very strong into 2022. And so far, they are testing near all-time highs. Additionally, while things are pulling back and seeing some heightened volatility near the highs, we're still in a relative daily uptrend. We're making swing highs and higher swing lows. So what does the market start to price in, and what is the catalyst or the underlying effect why this pricing is starting to occur? Most cases, the market's going to respond at some point to pressures from the bond market, more specifically rising interest rates. Now, that is one piece of the puzzle. Just like everything, there's more dynamics here. We've talked extensively about the strength of the dollar. And although the market was starting to lean to the downside, basically starting to test recent swing lows, we're seeing that immediate counterreaction, that 100% retracement from the point where the market was starting to draw down. This is not necessarily indicative that we're going to make new swing highs, but overall, the dollar has not been backing off. Once again, putting pressure on certain sectors of the market and essentially providing another headwind for performance moving forward. You want to be cautious of things like metals, which continue to recover inside of a strong dollar environment, but the likes of gold and silver seeing a bit of a down session in the first day of 2022. These were areas of the market that were starting to recover. We were seeing some bounce follow through, specifically in silver, with our nice sort of double bottom structure here. And then, of course, starting off 2022 with a bit of a pullback. So keep an eye on these areas. If the market continues to put those red flags, then these particular products may be challenged in regards to their overall performance. Once again, thinking more in the sense of longer term structures, longer term downtrends, things that haven't truly yet started to break out to the bullish side and are being challenged by the environment that we are trading in. These retracements and just overall posturing of the market. So as I sort of get to the final bits and pieces from yesterday's session, the outperformance in the market, we talked about XLF. Some of our banks really started to outperform, sort of an initial response to those rising interest rates and overall the dynamic of how certain banks profit in those environments. You want to be thinking loaning out money or basically credit long term, getting that sort of paid back short term. Those spreads and those environments between short and long term provide banks with the sort of conditions for outperformance. So JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, all of these particular stocks seeing very strong starts to 2022. Some, of course, better than others. If you look at somewhat more of a conglomerate type signal, the likes of Berkshire Hathaway being our largest XLF holdings, you'll note that while it was a bullish overall day, not seeing that same sort of significant rally to the upside. Bring up some of our beaten names as well. Citigroup with a very convincing bull flag breakout. Lots of volume to facilitate the move. So it's just a sign that in 2022, markets are starting to assess the current conditions and maybe change their posturing, both early signals in regards to maybe some outperformance from value-based sectors, maybe some inflationary performance, the likes of XLE, very notable bull flag breakout as well with the financial or bank type performance. You want to be thinking retracement breakout as well. All of these are very early signs that the market is starting to shift. And as we pay attention to these signals, whether you are aggressive, looking for low to no confirmation and getting in with good risk to reward, or you're seeing the eventual sentiment change and the change in the guard or the change in the narrative as regards to what is leading this market. Along with understanding that in order for things to change, usually some areas of the market have to shift. The likes of healthcare, bit of a down session, still in an uptrend. Very notable to talk about how we're coming off highs. But pay attention to this trend. Pay attention to the posturing here. Because if we see more downside and the change starts to occur near the highs, that's when some of our best profits are made. And that's when some of our best shorting opportunities are formed. Just sort of noting some of the stocks that provided that downside, the likes of Pfizer losing our double bottom support, coming into the 20 period, normally where this stock tends to bottom, but very notable selling pressure on an intraday session. These are just early signs in 2022, and we want to pay attention to this. Last but not least, let's talk about some of the outperformance in regards to some of the best stocks yesterday. Obviously, everybody focused on Tesla. Lots of numbers coming out with their deliveries in Q4, relative performance year over year and quarter to quarter. Also very technical in nature. Obviously, the bull flag breakout. You're going to see this theme a lot in a lot of different stocks. That conviction inside of this particular breakout and what it does for the market as a whole. The likes of Tesla with not only a gap up open, but sort of that gap and go, a very clear breakaway type gap, and even a gap above previous resistance. Pretty much all of the conditions primed for that strong move into 1200. Now, I also wanted to just quickly show why 1200 was so important for this particular market. You'll note that things like open interest are quite high at this particular strike. Very significant option volume being traded both in the short-term series, and as you start to move further out, you'll see that a lot of this continues, albeit you're going to see it at psychological prices in general. So this sort of pinning activity that occurs can be facilitated by a new catalyst, demand or supply returning into the market to change that posturing. You also want to note just the overall call activity, while it may seem a bit high, is actually fairly normal for Tesla, with only about 1.6 times more calls being traded compared to the last 5 days. We obviously ended with a very strong 2021 performance inside of Tesla from low to high. So with that said, my name is Jared. This is Engineering the Market. Some things to think about into 2022. We're seeing signs as the market is starting to change. Prepare for these changes, start to put your game plans together. And ultimately, we have new information. So let's respond to that information appropriately as the market starts to change. So with that said, stay tuned for pre-market prep. We'll talk more tomorrow.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Premarket Prep. I hope everyone is having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, brother. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Doing good. Guys, let's get to yesterday's action. We had a really decent well, that's not it.
Your
Decent.
list, yeah, you need to refresh your TI. There's been an issue this morning.
Oh, there is. Okay, let me
Some people
refresh
are having
that.
a little bit of a difficult time getting
Mm-hmm.
it to refresh. So restart at a time or two. It should drop it down drastically.
All right, I'm gonna just exit now and we'll start it up again here. Trade ideas. Here we go. Um, as this is starting up, yesterday we had a very nice trading day, guys. I mean, you could literally pick whatever stock, one some of your favorites. Is that still bad there? Yeah, right. Still
Yeah, you're
too
gonna have
much.
to redo it
Yeah.
again.
All right.
It might take a time or two.
Okay, cool. Let's do it one more time here. So yeah, guys. So as we were talking about yesterday, man, a lot of stuff just heading northeast. Actually, let's look at that as I keep refreshing my trade ideas here. So let's look at Tesla, and I'll keep refreshing this. So sorry if I sound distracted a little bit. Tesla was great yesterday. Let's get into our 5 minute here. And just look at this beautiful chart from yesterday. And it was just not only Tesla, we had many other stocks heading northeast yesterday pretty nicely. That was Tesla. Neo, not so much, very choppy. As you can see there, after trade idea gets out the way. Any minute now. There we go. So here's okay, that looks better now on trade ideas. Here's Neo, not as great as Tesla. Apple was very nice, guys. Look at the takeoff we had here, just beautiful.
Past 3 trillion,
AMD,
man.
yeah, it's insane. Insane, guys. AMD was great too. Beautiful takeoff there. A deep pullback, but still recovered nicely. And look at the pop there into the green area. Just nice yesterday. Lucid, guys. This was the one that really traded amazing. I had a bit of a drop here. They give you somewhat of a double bottom, not quite either way. Breaks out of the moving averages, VWAP and everything, hits high of the day, never looks back and takes off here. I mean, just incredible. Even our low flow yesterday, IMMX, was actually pretty fun in the pre-market. Did a couple of pops into the open here that I saw you guys take advantage of. Again, it was just a whole bunch of stuff you could have taken advantage of yesterday. So really, I don't want to say easy trading day, but definitely very predictable. You could have had a lot of opportunities. With that said, let's jump right into our SPY and see what's going on there this morning. And let's get that into our action as of right now. So, Norm, what do we have
We're up
going
about
on for?
up about a third of a percent on the SPY right now. 2/10 on the Qs. This morning we have ISM manufacturing job openings, job quits, all at 10 a.m. And I believe it's at 11:30. Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari will be having a discussion on the current economic outlook. So that could play into things a little bit. As I mentioned, Apple, first company, hit 3 trillion. So that happened. It's kind of been above and below that this morning. I think it's essentially sitting right on that right now. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yesterday was a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Started off really strong gap, and then I'm sorry, I didn't realize that my camera was not. There we go. Yesterday it was really strong, but we had some harsh pullbacks throughout the day. So
Yeah, no, it was definitely interesting, and I think today's lining up like that as well. So we'll definitely see. All right, guys, let's take a look at what we have on our list this morning. I think since I restarted a couple of times, I might need to link my trade ideas one more time here. Let's see, is it linked? Oh, I actually kept the link even though I restarted it. Okay, pretty cool.
nice.
All right, so it's all linked up. Let's get that out of the way.
It's a new feature. It doesn't work right when you first open it, but it keeps that link.
It keeps the link throughout. Yeah, yep. It keeps the link throughout the mess up there. Oh man. All right, let's get some rows in here, guys. Clean this up a little bit. Here we go. There it is. And leading the way, low flow that was also very active yesterday. IMMX this morning. This is day 2. Usually day 2 are not as fun, guys. So you got to be very careful here. You do have volume here. You're up 27%. You're actually above the previous day close yesterday. Really nice this morning. So maybe that could be a difference today. Pre-market is very active and actually pretty decent besides a couple of big drops here. Yeah, let's put it here. Low flow for today. IMMX. Let's see if that's gonna turn into something this morning. Next low flow, ISPC this morning, just starting to get going here. Up 22%, 1.3 million. We'll come back to this one. Let's give it a little more room to develop there. ISPC, that is a 3.2 million shares flow this morning. So 2 so far that look pretty decent. I see we have some other low floats in here. We'll take a look at how they are doing in a couple of minutes here.
Andre, thank you for the super chat. Welcome back. You've been off for a month.
Yeah, we haven't seen you in a bit, man.
Nice to take some time off from time to time, though.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that super chat. Happy New Year to all you. Excited to be back after a month off. Missed you all. We missed you as well, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. Guys, if you know, every donation given to the channel and every super chat will be donated to the charity of the month. Norm will talk about that a little bit in our announcements. And also, more importantly, will be matched dollar for dollar by Andrew as well to give that a little bit of a boost there also. So this next one here is Riot. Again, Riot, Mara. I haven't seen anything great from them. I don't think these guys are really in play. They're making some noise here. They're up in our scanners. Riot is actually up 3.5. Does not seem like it, but it is. It's up 3.5 this morning. The volume is just not great. We're going to skip on that one for now. We have Ford on the list this morning. They are actually looking pretty decent, but we don't say that often. But Ford right now up 3.1. 3.5 million shares traded. It actually looks good. Are there any news? What's going on with
Yeah,
Ford?
I believe they're expecting to double, or they did double their. They're going to double their Lightning truck number production number.
Mm-hmm. All
Um,
right. That's
that
some
having been
exciting news.
said, yeah, that having been said, it's one of those that you might sit all day to get a 25-cent move. So
Yes. Yes, it is a slow mover, guys. Definitely in play today, though. We'll put it on here. Again, just know what you're getting into, right? It takes time for this thing to get going. If at all. CUK, we usually look at CCL. That is a different share class than CCL here. Which this morning is up 2%, 800,000 shares traded. I like the daily. And yesterday, this was another one that was also very good. I did not have it on my list, but I saw it because you guys called it out in the chat room. So thank you for that. Another one that just took off here, trading very, very nice. I like the daily on CCL today. Maybe we'll take a look at it. Maybe not a main possible, but definitely, sorry, maybe not one on the main list, but maybe a possible. But I like it this morning. Let's put it on there. Um, Heading
yeah,
down
so
here,
these
Mara.
cruise
Yeah,
lines, we've got a couple of them. We've got
yeah,
CCL cucked on there, NLCH is on there, or it was.
yeah.
I think it was J.P. Morgan. Let me check my notes. It was, yeah, J.P. Morgan came out with a paper saying 2022 will see a full global recovery and an end to the pandemic. So I think that's what's contributing to their pops.
What is it? What is the ticker for Norwegian? Norwegian or is
NLCH
NLCH? Okay, yeah, there we go. Huh.
NCLH. Sorry,
Oh, okay.
NCLH.
NCLH. Oh, there we go. Okay. All
I
right.
don't. I
Oh, that
when
could be
these are
interesting.
active, I trade CCL instead. I
Yeah,
always
yeah.
get the NCLH backward.
I'm gonna put NCLH as a possible to have here, but CCL is yeah definitely looking good this morning, and we'll see how that news plays after the bell. But already this morning you're seeing a little bit of an action here on CCL. I like the daily too. Had a decent day yesterday, maybe a possible break on continuation. How are the airlines doing? Pretty similar type daily on here. Not a whole lot of volume as we see, as you mentioned with the cruise lines. We'll keep an eye on those there. Heading back to our list. BP is a foreign stock, normally does not trade very well, and I'm not seeing anything good on it this morning either.
I think the cruise
Matt,
lines are the cruise
mhm,
lines. I think are doing better than the airlines on that news this morning because
yeah,
of all the negative press we've had on the airlines, the pressure put on them by the staffing issues, delays, cancellations, and everything recently.
it has not been pretty for them, that's for
Cruise lines
sure.
have just been consistently hammered throughout this problem, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is 100% correct. IonQ on here. I'm not a fan of this one. Doesn't look good. INPD low flow this morning that has no volume and is dropping here. It's just not looking great at all there. So let's see what's gapping down. SE, I believe we've seen this before. It is a brutal stock to trade. I don't know how you would trade this. Managing the risk on this thing is crazy. It can move a whole lot with very thin volume. Today they're down 7.8, 705,000 has gone from 226 down to 205, the lowest point this morning. So, um, again, I'm not a fan of the way this moves. The price actually could be very weird. So I'm going to keep it off my list. But
there's
definitely
10
something
cent.
going on.
Yeah, 10 cents divesting 14.5 million shares out of this. So that's what that is.
Okay. All right. I again not a fan of the way this moves. So I'm going to keep it off my list. J Well here, JWEL. No, had a huge drop yesterday. And it looks like when the yeah, ooh, nasty drop yesterday. Look at where this thing dropped yesterday. An hour in or so. Man, that is scary stuff. So today, no volume, guys, down 6%. It just doesn't look good all around here. 20 million shares flow, so be careful on the size on that if you're gonna decide to trade that there. Um, WMG, this is down 4.4, 183,000. Again, just pre-markets all over the place. A stock that typically does not trade heavy volume at all. Very light on the volume here, as you can
It's on a
see.
secondary as well. So
So horrible news to begin with to trade. So we'll skip on that one. RELI, we've seen this active in the last couple of days. I don't see anything good this morning. PDD, what we got going on here? They're down 4%, no volume as of now. I know a lot of you guys like this one. I'm going to put as a possible. We can come back and look at it again because I'm sure someone's going to throw it out here. I do like the possibly losing this daily level here. That could be decent. But again, pre-market right now, not looking great. Here's Billy. They're down 3.7 this morning. We know this can get going and actually can trade very well. We do have shares for short. I'm going to put it as a possible for now. BFRI, no good. This was on our gappers list yesterday. I didn't like it yesterday neither. Let's see how I actually traded. Uh, had a weird start here. But again, based on what kind of day we had yesterday, you had so many other stocks that were way better opportunities than this one. Here's Pins. Pins is on the list this morning. We haven't seen this one in some time. At least I haven't. Down 2.5, 100,000 shares traded. Um, not sure what's going on with Pins, but we'll put Pins on here. Usually when they're moving, that there's something going on. Not sure if they have any news or anything, but the volume is just a little bit light right now. We'll come back to this, see if that picks up any steam there at all. All right, let's make some room. Hopefully, we can find things that are a little bit better. I know we're gonna be looking at Apple, so I'm just gonna add that right in. I know that's gonna be one that's gonna be
Downgrade
fun to
this
watch.
morning.
Yeah, yep.
That's what that was.
What was that?
Pinterest got a downgrade this morning.
Okay, yeah. See, this is a ticker that only pops up when something's going on. So we'll see if they can get the volume with that. They're daily interesting because they're sitting right at a good level of support that they had all of December. So is this downgrade going to push things lower, maybe down to that 34
They also got
ish
an
area?
initiation out from another analyst with it. It wasn't stellar. I mean, it was like essentially a neutral rating, if I recall correctly, but the
Mhm.
price target was around 45. So
Mm,
who
okay,
knows?
interesting.
The downgrade was a price target of 39. Initiation was
Yeah.
45. So who knows,
Mm.
man?
Yeah, these downgrades are so
It's
funny at
not my
times.
favorite. Not my
Yeah,
favorite to
yeah.
trade anyway.
It doesn't look good with that info here and what we're getting as far as volume. Unless volume picks up and does something, it might not be a good one. We'll drop it off this list. Um, all right, we left off here. Apple is good. Norm, anything you like on your end?
UAA. Um, they got an upgrade this morning. Neo was good yesterday. See if that continues to do anything today or not.
Yep, yep. It's got volume today,
And
so that looks pretty
yeah,
good.
and that's kind of it. There's a couple, but I hate trading the tickers that they are, so I'm not even going to mention them.
Gotcha. All right, guys, let's take it to the room. Let's start here with who do we have? Let's start with Young Chu. All right, UAL, United Airlines. Let's see here. I like the daily on United Airlines. It's just the volume is not there yet. It's very similar to American Airlines, right? They're getting a little bit of a pop, 1.6, 1.5 there. Um, uh, I'm just not seeing anything explosive, but that could change depending how this market is going to be. We had a great day yesterday on a lot of stocks. I could see UAL breaking out here. I know the news on the cruise lines is definitely more interesting right now. So I'm gonna keep my eyes on them instead. But you can keep an eye on the airlines, right? Maybe a possible if you have the space for it. Here we have Lucid. Yes, Lucid was really good yesterday. What are we doing today on it? We're in the red here. Maybe a continuation if they can hold above this previous day close or at least close to it. Volume is there. Pre-market is very has a nice range at the moment. Yeah, I think Lucid could be good. And they was just so explosive yesterday. I think it's good to keep an eye on them this morning. Nvidia. What do we have? Nvidia this morning. I have Apple. Nvidia could be good, but I'm gonna keep Apple instead right now. Let's see. I lost my spot. Where was Nvidia? Who gave me that? Okay, here we go. Fabio, you gave me Nvidia. You gave me a few actually. I'm just gonna take the next one. XOM. Big day yesterday. You're looking for a continuation here. Good. I won't have it on my list, but yeah, I had a big day yesterday. Possible continuation today. So I see
We
we
need
have that on your list.
we need Phil's list.
Phil sent the list.
No, not yet. I'm waiting on it.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, yes. Phil, where are you, man? Here's Citigroup. Citigroup big day yesterday. Yeah, we talked about the banks a little bit yesterday. I think I had West Fargo on my list. Again, I didn't go to my secondary. You didn't need to. We had such a really good day with the main stuff we had on our list, and some of your favorite tickers like CCL was on fire. You didn't really need to go too deep into the lineup there, but Yeah, today possible continuation. I'm not seeing anything huge right now. The volume is great though, 1.3. It's got to be a block trade because you are not seeing that pre-market action here on West Fargo. So maybe a
Yeah, there's
continuation play, you know.
yeah.
Um, HRB. Have we seen that one before? HRB. What is that? HRB. Is that another bank? HRB. They moved like a bank yesterday.
It's
What
not
is this?
often that I get a ticker thrown out that I've never heard of, but
H&R
H&R
Block.
Block. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It is not often. You're absolutely right, especially a big company like this one. Obviously, for obvious reasons, we probably do never trade this. And looking at this daily, I'm glad I don't know this ticker. This is a horrible, horrible daily. Doesn't get volume, guys. 2 million seems to be the average on this or less. I stay away from stuff like that. Again, had a big day yesterday, but a lot of things did. The banking stocks did. A lot of other companies did that probably traded much better than this, right? So look at this pre-market. Look at this daily from yesterday. You can see the lack of volume in it here as well, right? Look at the bottom. There's just no order flow going through this, right? You can tell the entire day yesterday it traded 2 million shares and it moved like this. The order flow's got to be so bad on this. So on something like that, when you had many other stocks trading a little bit better, I mean, shoot, you probably could trade a SPY. Could have been better, thing to have on your list. So not keeping this on deck, guys. Not a fan of this one at all. Based on what I'm seeing here. Lucid is good. We have Lucid. AMD. Um, AMD. Uh, yeah, we could put AMD. I mean, I don't like any better than what I have on my main list right now. Maybe we could take out Ford and put AMD, but I'll put it as a secondary for now. We'll come back to it. But yeah, if you look at my list, CCL looks really good. Apple looks really good. Even UA, well, UA doesn't look that great right now, but it is popping up 3.7. You're not going to get the volume on this one until after the market opens, so we'll see what happens there. Neo is decent. Lucid is decent as well. I know that they don't look as great as we're used to seeing these stocks, but Neo, it's going to get the volume even further down after the market there. So, yeah, AMD guys, I see you guys throwing on AMD. I don't see it. I don't see maybe the daily. Daily looks great. Yeah,
Daly's pretty decent.
yeah, right.
Semis
Okay.
were strong yesterday. That usually helps AMD.
Yeah, I'm gonna remove Ford as a possible because I know I'm not gonna trade it. Although it looks really good today, guys, for how that stock normally trades. I'll add AMD to my list there. All right, heading down Nvidia. I'm not gonna add. It doesn't look all that exciting. I like AMD, Apple a little bit better. Lori's giving us Disney. What we got going on with Disney? Possible breakout here, man. It's just so light on volume, which is okay because another ticker that's gonna get the volume at the market open. I'm just not seeing anything great on it right now for me to add on my list. Bank of America, West Fargo. I think West Fargo is probably the best one to add as a possible on the banking stocks, right? We looked at West Fargo earlier. I'm going to add as a possible. They got 1.3 million shares traded here, probably a block trade. Big day yesterday for the banks. But again, I have a feeling that if the banks are going to do well and run like they did yesterday, you're going to have Apple, right, probably do well, which is a much better stock. You're probably gonna have Lucid do well. You're gonna have AMD, CCL, right? There's gonna be other stocks that are better trading stocks that I think are going to move better. So that's why I'm not putting West Fargo like on top of my list here because I know hopefully if they're doing very well, there'll be other sectors that are going to do very well also, right? So that's my take on that. But we'll keep West Fargo on here. All right, guys, we got a pretty decent list. Tesla, yeah, Tesla has been in play, guys. If you like trading Tesla, I mean, this thing has just been on fire. I'm not a big fan of the price tag on Tesla here, but if you like Tesla, yeah, it's been in play. Huge gap up yesterday, great day.
Excuse
For a
me.
possible continuation, it's got the volume today, 674, which is very nice. So yeah, if you like Tesla, definitely keep it on your list. All right, let's take it over to our YouTube chat.
Yep, go for it.
No, go ahead.
It's a lot of no. Go for it. Go for it.
All right. YouTube chat here, guys. Calvin, we'll start with you. You're giving us mRNA. What has that been up to? mRNA this morning, they are down 1.6. Interesting daily here for a possible drop, right? As things kind of cool off here with everything going on in that area. Yeah, that's interesting daily, man. Very interesting daily where we're sitting at here.
I
On
don't
this
have the
one.
guts to do so, but if shorting that might be interesting.
on its own.
Considering there's more, I mean, I'm over a million. Like the COVID cases reported yesterday were almost 1.1 million for
Right,
the
right.
U.S. Like
Yeah.
biggest day in history, period. So these vaccines, more people are questioning them. Is that going to cause these
Yes.
things to drop more? And it's right there at the bottom. It's funny how events line up at certain points on charts like that, isn't it? It's ironic.
It is
It's
very
amazing how that
interesting, my
works.
friends. Oh yes, yes, yes. And you're right, man. I mean, my entire family, as you guys know, we just little one yesterday got it, right? So little, we thought she was gonna be saved. No, we all got it. So except my mother, the whole family tree, right? What's going on here? And it's like a really bad cold, right? We'll be fine. But you're right. These vaccines are like, what the hell's happening here? um, all right, so mRNA, guys, is yeah, it's interesting. We'll keep it on here. We'll see what happens. All right, Calvin, thank you for that. Bank of America, Puppet Master. I have West Fargo. I'm not gonna put Bank of America. I think West Fargo is. They're all looking pretty much the same. I'll keep West Fargo for now, but I'll keep be thinking about all of those Bank of America, Citigroup. How about J.P. Morgan? JP Morgan, same situation, right? They're up a little bit with no volume. TSM, I believe, is a foreign stock, Tempo, and they normally do not trade very well. Not normally, they never trade very well.
Which
It'll
one?
be
TSM?
TSM.
It
Yeah,
did
it'll be.
yesterday.
Yeah, oh yeah, I was looking at that now. Yesterday, this thing is proving me wrong. Yesterday
It,
actually
it
traded very
it's
well.
it, a lot of times it's a little bit of a rough trader, and you can tell that on the daily. But
Mhm.
sometimes it'll get strong, have a good day like yesterday. Who knows?
What
I
is this
don't know.
company, by the way? It is
Taiwan Semi.
Taiwan. Yeah, okay, semiconducting company. But again, yesterday I don't give stocks like this much credit on a day like yesterday, and the reason is because again, you could have picked hundreds of stocks that trade better that had such a great day. But yeah, this did trade well yesterday, but for the most part, is not the case, right? HRB, I'm not a fan of the way that looks. Spy, what's going on with the spy? You want us to look at the spy? Um, Spy's yeah, Spy's crushing it, guys. All time highs, just crushing it, crushing it. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on the Spy as well. All right, guys, we're all set. Let's go over to our community events.
Before we do announcements, I
Yeah.
want you, because you are the better one of us, and you've got your hands in it all the time, to dive into this question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you recommend to someone that's looking for education but uses DAS 2, and has some basics down? Does Bearable Traders have a DAS specific course?
A DAS specific course. You want to learn how to use DAS? Yeah, we have not a course. We have a whole section, guys. We have a whole section, and we have a little bit of time. We have 5 minutes here, and actually, this is important for anyone that's new, that's looking to join or has that question and wants to start with us. I want to show you guys something. In fact, this would be a good time to show you guys our brand new education center as well. So let's do that. So here it is, guys. Come into our website. I'm gonna go ahead and log in the members area. Actually, I'm logged in already. Perfect. We're gonna come down to our education center. I want to show you guys what we have as far as the new setup here. All right. So we made changes just last weekend. You got your essential courses, you got your advanced courses, you got all your webinars and mentorship recordings that we do live every week. So every week in this category, guys, we're adding about 5 videos every week from live recordings, 5 to 6 videos. All the older stuff is here, so you don't lose access to that. You have that as well. But to answer your questions, let me show you guys what the essential is in the essentials that we have it. Yep, down here. So you come into essentials training and the courses. Look at this, setting up Dash Trader Pro. Let me expand this for you. We have welcome to Dash. We have the introduction to montage, every single thing by video that has to do with Dash Trader Pro. Your orders and position windows will explain exactly what that is. Time and sales, market view, creating your charts. I mean, everything is here. Everything you need to create your dash, to customize it. And then we start getting really fancy and advanced, right? Advanced hotkeys by Kyle. These are more advanced topics here. Stop losses. Everything is on here, guys. From beginning stuff, setting it up from scratch, all the way to advanced hotkeys. So the material is there. We got tons of material when it comes to using Dash Trader Pro. If you still need help, send me an email. We'll get you set up, right? But
And
it's
the
all
other
there.
thing I'll add to that is not only that, I mean, we've got all kinds of materials in the forums, all kinds of
Hmm.
resources there. And then we've also got Kyle K here that
Yes.
is essentially
Yes.
the master of DAS, creating custom hotkeys and scripts
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
everything else. So
Yeah.
Really, you've got all kinds of resources here. Come
And
check it
now,
out.
and now that you mentioned Kyle, I mean, Kyle is we usually have a tech class every Monday night. So if you have questions, there's a specific tech class for questions that Kyle can answer your questions live, right? So,
Yeah.
guys, the resources there for sure. All right, let's get over to our community announcements. Let me go to the next
All
slide.
right. All right. Speaking of last night, there was a little bit of hiccup on the classes. Carlos, your daughter, just got the COVID.
Yes,
And
fortunately.
so you were taking care of her, and you were supposed to do a class last night. We'll figure that out, and we'll get the info fixed, and
Yeah, we're actually
we'll
going
make that
to
up.
we got it. What we're going to do is we're going to move everything up 1 week. So my class will be next week, and then John will be after that. Well, not John. I believe it's Mike will be after that.
Okay, there you go. And hope she feels better soon. All
Thank you,
right.
man.
Tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, you've got John talking about trading breakouts. The next week, Ed's going to be talking about options flow and how he uses an options flow scanner to help him capitalize on that. Those are both at 8 p.m. Eastern. John's tonight, Ed's next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. All right. And then Dr. Kenneth Reed, he will be tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, talking about matchers and mismatchers. That is going to be his discussion on the two general types of traders, which are either range traders or trend traders. And then next week, special time, Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, Creta doing Mental Edge Series Part 1, how to think and trade like a professional athlete to gain a mental edge in the markets. If you haven't checked it out yet, go to stocktradingsimulator.com to see our free web-based replay simulator. You do not have to download any software or anything. You can just go over there and give it a shot. If you'd like, you can put your email in at the bottom right. We will not spam you. We do not sell your email. You get a couple emails a week with homework assignments from Eamon and Simon that they take a lot of time to put those together and get those out. We've had a lot of great feedback on both the simulator and that. And then if you're asking questions about DAS resources and such, and you'd like to come and see what's on the back end of BBT, check out the chat room. Go to bearbulltraders.com. You can use the promo code Premarket24. All you have to do is go in there, scroll down on the homepage until you see that test drive now button. It's about halfway down the page. Fill that out, use Premarket24. Like I said, you'll get a discount. It is not a recurring billing deal. You only get billed one time, and then it cancels after 7 calendar days. Also, if you like to become an elite member, an annual elite member, and get access to all of the content that we put out, you can use the promo code HOLIDAYS40. It'll get you 40% off the annual elite membership and a month of free DAS simulator included.
All right, thank you very much, Norm. Let's get to our watch list, guys. So starting here with CCL this morning, looking very good. Looks like it wants to get going here, so that looks nice. We have CCL, we have Apple, looks very good. UAA, maybe a top possible for us here. NEO looks very, very good now. Lucid starting to come alive into the green area, and AMD. So yeah, we have a pretty good list. Let's get some levels in here. All right, let's start with CCL. I'm going to remove some of the levels we had here from the past because we do have our highs and lows from the last 2 trading days overlapping some of those there. High of the pre-market right now for CCL all the way up here is going to be this little guy over there, 22.15. But I'm also going to mark down this area here because we had a lot more action here at 22.05, right? Also, it's a whole dollar. So I expect there to be more resistance here than here actually, right? So I think this is an area where you want to keep an eye on. Towards the bottom, it looks like the high from yesterday is pretty much slamming up against our low of the pre-market this morning, right? The actual low is going to be all the way down here at 21.67. But again, I'm putting more weight in within this range here because you can see the more support you're getting here of that 21.75. So that looks looking good right now, guys. Great volume, about to hit that 1 million mark on CCL. Definitely trading very good. Outside of this window, towards the bottom, you're set. Previous day close, more highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Towards the top, if we can get going here, we do have an area right over here at 22.59. Got a couple of days slamming against that level there. And if we were to run nicely as we did yesterday, right? We had a nice little run yesterday. Another major level I see here is 23.44. It's a good one also. All right, let's head down over to Apple this morning. Apple just incredible stuff. Yesterday, pushing higher there, hitting your all-time highs. High of the pre-market this morning, guys, 183.38. Towards the bottom, we do have plenty of stuff. Previous day close, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. I don't think you need to add anything else on Apple. I think you're pretty much set. We had a big day yesterday, so maybe in here in the daily, let's see, do we have a lot of touches around here? Maybe 180. 180, you could put a minor area of support resistance there. Not a whole lot going on. It's not like these levels over here where you have a lot of touches, days opening, closing right around there on your two previous lows here. But yeah, I think that could be an important area if we do decide to drop here below that previous day close line. UAA this morning, again, might be a top possible today. We'll bring this down, but let's get some levels in here. 2208, high of the pre-market. Above that, we do have 2265. And then we have another one right over here, guys, at 23.50. So a couple of levels towards the top there, towards the bottom. Just going to mark down the low of the pre-market, and I think you're pretty much set. This is not, that one is not going to get the volume into the market open. So I'm going to put it here as a possible for now. We'll see if when the bell rings, if we're going to get some good action on that one. As Norm mentioned, it could be interesting today. Here is Neo looking very good as well, guys. Daily looks interesting. Had a big day a couple of days ago, and then just kind of been scratching higher here a little bit. At the moment, just kind of hanging around the previous day close line. The low of the pre-market on this one is pretty much the low from, the highs from 2 days ago. See this line right on here? So I think you're pretty set there. Above this, guys, you do have 34.70. That could be interesting there. And then you also have 35.57. So I think you're pretty much set here on Neo. I don't think you need to add anything else. This looks very good right now. Here's Lucid, guys. Very explosive yesterday. Low of the pre-market has been tested twice this morning. 40.63. Very early on, around 5 o'clock. And then again here just a couple of minutes ago. Both times finding some good support and running a little bit higher. So pre-market action looking very nice as far as the range goes. High of the pre-market at 41.34. And then you have your highs from yesterday. We shot up all the way to 41 from like 38, guys. So really, really nice day for Lucid yesterday. Very, very explosive. Above this area where you're seeing a lot of congestion here with the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. The previous day close, which we're kind of hanging around at the moment. You have 42.51. And then above this, let's see on the daily, what do you have a lot of touches on here? A little messy daily in this area. I want to put this one on here. Yeah, 45.07. Got a lot of days slamming against that 45.07. That could be a major one there. You might have a minor one in here. But again, I just don't want to get this so congested here. So I'm just going to keep this main one 45.07. All right, here's AMD. Yeah, AMD's got a beautiful daily. Volume is not there yet, but it's starting to look pretty nice here, especially if it can get above the highs from yesterday, right? So it's looking pretty good right now. High of the pre-market is all the way up here on 152.18. Above this, you got a couple of levels. This one here, 154.25, and this one here, 156.74, and that's all you really need for AMD right now. So very, very clean daily. Let's see if there's going to be a continuation today on this one and many other stocks. Lucid, Apple, CCL, all looking for a second day continuation here. They had a big day yesterday. Obviously, the SPY is going to have to help with that a little bit, and it looks like it wants to. It's up nicely right now above the most recent all-time highs, which were hanging around. What is this? 478, maybe 479 could be the exact number. We're slightly above that, hitting as high as 479.84. So starting out real good so far this morning. All right, 906, guys. Let's get to our moderators lineup. Let's see what we have going on. I see I have Eamon, I have Dima, I have Jared, I have Thor. Let's see if some other ones come on, and then we can take a look at what's happening there. But so far, pretty good list. Our secondary list, we got to do some work here. We got to fine tune this. UAA we'll keep on here. mRNA, I think mRNA could be messy, but we'll keep it on here. West Fargo, the banking stocks, very strong yesterday. Let's see if there's any continuation happening today. Ford, guys. Hey, listen, if you like Ford is on fire today. This is a very, very big move, right? You actually have moved more than 20 cents here, more than 25 cents. This is pretty decent. The 50 cents move this morning. So looking very nice on Ford, very clean. Again, just got to know how to trade. You got to be patient with the process there. Here is AMD right now. AMD we have on the top, so we can remove it from here. That's good. UAL, I want to keep the airlines in check, but I just don't think this is really in play right now. So I'm just gonna remove it. We'll have to wait for it to hit the scanners. Pins, pins is confusing because they got upgrades here or downgrades to 39, and they're just kind of all over the place right now. Based on what I have, I'm just gonna remove it, guys. If you guys have it on your list and you see something great, call it out. Like you guys called out CCL yesterday. That was an amazing call out, right? Didn't have it on my list. You guys called it out, so thank you for that. NCLH, I'm gonna remove it just to make our list smaller. I have CCL, which looks a whole lot better, really.
Lost your
It's
screen
like
in the room, dude.
my screen. Oh, my camera froze. Oh, my battery probably died, and I lost the screen in the room. Let's
It shouldn't kill your
no, it shouldn't.
screen.
It shouldn't kill the screen. You're right. Let me take a look at that. That's two separate things for sure. Um, 1 second, guys, as we get the screen back in the room going here.
I still get on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube is
No,
solid.
yeah. YouTube's still good.
There we go. You guys see that? Okay. All right, nice. All right, so the screen is good there.
Yeah, there we
Um,
go.
all right, so yeah, guys, CCL looking very, very good compared to NCLH. Big difference. Big difference. So I'm going to get rid of NCLH for now. Let's get rid of that. PDD. I mean, I have it here because I think some of you guys like it, but I don't. So I'm going to remove it. And actually, none of you guys mentioned it today. No, nobody mentioned it today. So we'll get
That
rid of it. We'll get rid of it.
what?
Uh, and
Nobody mentioned what?
PDD.
Well,
So we'll get rid of that one. Billy. I don't think we need Billy today. I think we have a very good list. There we go. That is our list today, guys. Two low flows for ISPC taken off here, guys. So 2.3 up 21%. This is like what is it? 3.2 million. Very careful with this. IMNX holding here. So another one that's had a big day. Well, not had a big pre-market day. Not really a big intraday. So we'll see what if there's any continuation happening today. Usually when they're above the previous day close like this, could be interesting for a possible continuation. But man, it's looking rather messy right now in the pre-market. So
I'm gonna say you've got more confidence in the list than I do.
well, our top list looks good. Our main list looks a lot better than these other ones down here for sure. We'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping that we're gonna get some good continuations today, like we did yesterday. I'm betting a lot on that today, so we'll see. All right, lineup for our moderator. Let's bring this over here. All right, let's see what we have. Let's start with Jared. So Jared, you're looking at banks, energies, EVs, and BTC, Bitcoin stuff. Eamon, you're looking at AMD, American Airlines, NEO, potential shorts, PFE. No SPACs for IPOs for today. Dima, you're looking at Apple, AMD, and American Airlines. Refining your list here, Jared. You're looking at Ford, Mara, Riot, West Fargo, TSM, and some of the oil companies there, APA, Oxy, and MRO. Thor, you're looking at West Fargo, Neo, CCL. Secondary list, Apple and Roku. Peter, you're looking at AMD, Ford, CCL, American Airlines, Lucid, and IMNX low flow on your secondary list there. Tiffany, you like Ford, Apple, and you're looking at Mara as well this morning. So that is our list, guys. Some pretty similar stuff that's on our list as well. We'll definitely see how the day shapes out, guys. So 9-11. Any questions, guys? Anything we can answer? Anything we can go over that we might have missed? We got a couple of minutes. SE, we looked at SE earlier, guys. I just man, this is brutal. Let's look at the 1 minute. I mean, look at the 1 minute.
Yeah.
It's just careful, guys. 206, 205, 207, which is a couple of huge trades being dropped here in the pre-market. Now, yes, I know that can get better at the market open, but I don't think by much. Look at the daily. You don't get a lot of volume here. You barely get 5 million shares a day. So when you have something like that and you're moving 20 bucks, $10 throughout the day, it's just not going to be pretty, right? So just be careful with this, right? Risk management and everything. I don't know how you would trade this. So careful on that one. BKR What is this? BKR? BRK, excuse me, BRK. I don't know what that is.
Hathaway? Seriously? Is that?
Is that what it is? I'm not sure what ticker
No,
that
we're
is.
not. We're not trading Berkshire Hathaway.
Oh, it's like that's not a great stock for intraday trading. T-Mobile, is it AT&T or T-Mobile? What is
Yeah.
this?
Oh, it's AT&T.
AT&T. Yep.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't
AT&T,
move.
yeah, it doesn't move. Again, the day yesterday, guys.
7 billion share float.
Yeah, it doesn't move. And yesterday we just had a huge pop on a lot of things, right? So if we get a day like we did yesterday, which I'm hoping we do, will be nice, right? If the SPY can break all-time highs and we can get some continuation plays. This is not the one I'm going to be looking at. This is not the one. It'll be Lucid, it'll be AMD, Neo, and Apple. Apple will definitely be on our list, right? So that is the stuff that we'll be looking at if they do decide to get going here. Tesla, yeah, Tesla's good, guys. If you like Tesla, definitely have it on your list. I'm gonna put it on here. Tesla is definitely in play. Great movement in the pre-market. This price tag for me for day trading is out of this world, right? So I prefer to watch something else. I got Neo on here, but Tesla's definitely in play, no question.
That's personal preference, guys. I mean, 10 shares of $100 stock or 11 shares of $100 stock is roughly the same as one share of Tesla, and all you do is scale down, and it's the same thing. You're moving on based on percentages. But just like you can say the same thing about a $15 stock versus a $100 stock, I'd take the $100 stock all day long,
Right.
everything else equal. I just,
Yeah.
it's
It's like these lower price
largely
stocks.
psychological, really.
Like these lower price stocks that don't move, and you have to take 3,000 shares. The same thing as taking 300 shares on like a AMD or Roku. But I don't feel comfortable taking 3,000 shares on a stock like that, right? I'd rather take 300.
3,000 baller.
Well, I'm talking about something that's like moves 10 cents, right? Or
Oh,
whatever.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm talking about these really stocks that
Then you run into a
don't move.
commission deal too, especially if you're trading on a per
Yeah.
share basis.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. You're right. You're absolutely right. When you can get them same move for a lesser number of shares.
I
So
thought you
so
were saying you were trading 3,000 shares of Tesla at a time.
no.
But damn.
No.
All right.
No, no, no,
No
no, no,
wonder
no,
it
no, no.
makes you a little bit uncomfortable.
No. All right, guys, we're all set. 9:15. We'll give it off now to Brian and Andrew. They're gonna trade live over on YouTube, guys. Hit that thumbs up. We appreciate it very, very much. We'll see you guys tonight. We have a strategy webinar, so do not forget that's gonna be at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So we will see you then. Take care, guys. Trade safe, and we'll see you guys tonight or tomorrow morning. Have a good one.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.
Everybody